All right.
What? All right.
Uh-oh.
Let me give the intro real quick. Welcome to here. You made it. Intro. Hey, I'm doing interviews because I'm trying to get like ideas from people about like the meta behind RP and stuff, but also make myself a better RPer. And then if anyone else becomes a better RPer, just get wrecked. You did it. Hooray for you. You are Keeble.
For about 20 years now, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you're the RP doctor.
So you can hear me okay? Everybody hear me
Yeah,
all right? I'm not too
I
loud?
I think you sound
Yeah.
great based on the
Okay.
numbers and stuff.
Okay, so a few things. Can I just say a few things before we start?
Okay, I'll allow it. It's your interview, so sure.
Number one, I realize that I am the one that causes all the voice headaches in game. I go back and watch the streams of my work, no matter what I'm doing, and I talk way too much, even in the RP servers that the mic works fine. I swore to myself last time when we come to the wedding, I was going to be whisper on my press to talk, and I totally forgot. I appreciate you falling asleep in my tree though to end the chapter. That was beautiful. I wish
Yeah.
I hadn't went to sleep 3 minutes sooner than that. Oh, well, it's all good. I
Oh,
love that you were sitting in the outhouse. My version of the AFK spot where you want to go and get away from it. I love that you were sitting there at the end of it all.
yeah.
I was like, you were totally honored and blessed. Thank you. Second, I want to say thank you to Telscoop and IT Tech. Wow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really. Keeble couldn't take part in that RP because it would have broke him. But I saw it on streams and stuff. So, like, really, what a great job. So, thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of and adding such a rich, rich storyline to so many people.
Agreed.
And then yeah, we can go ahead, man.
All right. Well,
Say
rebuttal
thank you
time.
to you, of course.
Rebuttal time. Okay, so we've talked a
I'm
little
leaning too
bit.
far ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I do the same thing also because
Oh,
we're just
did
hanging
you
out
say
at this
that?
point. What?
You say that with a woman's voice? I like when women say that to me.
I
No, eh? All right. All right.
in a rebuttal to what you said just now about like being prescient of your chaos and also the things we've talked about in DM, the things you've said in streams of mine, whatever. I used to think the same thing about your character because I was so new that I couldn't tell how good it was. Um,
Thank
I
you.
I didn't know as Boxster originally, like I was just trying to figure things out. So that's when we met originally, right? And I'll speak for you and tell them where I met you, Ladies Night and other places like that. Not
It's on my
necessarily
list. That's on my list to talk about. That's the very next thing I wanted to talk about.
not necessarily in the event or whatever, but just around. Keeble's there, right? And I didn't understand that you're not you are RPing your character. You've obviously done it for a long time and you know him very well. But what you're actually doing is the same thing we just talked about. You have an RP bubble around you, a story around you all the time. It never stops.
Never,
and
never, ever on now. Never does it stop, huh?
And you're
never.
Like, it's a story all the time, and I didn't recognize that. I originally thought it's supposed to be like character A, then character B, then character C, then character A, and like that's how the interaction should work because I was new, and now I understand that you build these worlds together, and that's why I think you're so good because you can walk by and it's like a world just walks by with you. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, for starters, way back then, I avoided ladies' night like a passion because I had the laptop. And anybody here who is here or watches this on the VOD, they'll realize that that's why every time I spoke, I had to stop to speak because I had to look at the ground or my voice would get lost in the wind. So I
Yeah.
went to ladies' night. I gave in to everybody who was endlessly saying, Keeble, you've got to go to ladies' night. So I went and I said, look, I'll just go. I'll find a spot where I can just look at the ground and listen to everything around me and take part. And then this dude that I had been watching on streams is right beside me, right? Right on my left. I'm like, shut this is not good, right? And I totally meted it and I totally ruined it. And it's always been one of my haunting things where, I mean, I have many, don't get me wrong. I have one just from last week in another community. So it's regular.
Okay.
But it was always like, um, this isn't the way I wanted our characters to first meet, right? I
Mhm.
wanted it to be catch Boxster sleeking around in places, right?
Mhm.
There's a reason for all that if we talk about, my history and how I come into RP and all that. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for me, for sure. Yeah,
I
I'll
think
always remember that first meeting and how it
so.
was like so full of stuff that my character wouldn't have known. He just wouldn't have known.
Well, I think that those events, those so there's like my events which are smaller, but they
They're
still
so
have
groovy
this.
too.
Well,
I've
they
missed
have
all
the
of them.
same
So
feel.
forth.
Like I honestly think that people sort of suspend their RP when they
Checks
are
around.
at ladies' night, like
Yeah,
because there's
yeah.
so many people, you just can't keep going. It's
That's the
impossible.
joy. That's the joy of Atlas RP though. Like there's other RP that um in places that's really serious, like you were talking about it before, right? In some places and some servers are, super duper serious all the time and you know, my will's as hard as the iron line that I protect. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was Amarillo, by the way, for those looking from elsewhere. At EO. Any rate, and that's what for me, that's the draw of Atlas is that I can come in and just let it out go for a little bit, sit and listen to people say stupid stuff, and then jump on them when they
Yeah.
say the wrong word. Yeah, it's all
Um,
improv theory, right? It's all improv theory.
so okay, let's dig into the backstory. If you've been doing Keeble for 20 years, what is your history with RP?
Okay, well, I went over this in my mind lots of times, so I'm sorry ahead of time if it's dumb. And as we probably watch your viewers just go down and down.
Mm-mm.
Any rate, yeah, I come with late shift like everybody else and went to the port like everybody else. And then Darkside said they're going to allow Freeport building, so I thought I'll do that. Um, had no idea what I was doing. I was just playing Atlas. I had no idea, right? It was horrible. Anybody here listening this or watching in Futureland that remember me from that time, I'm so sorry. At any rate, and then I slowly got it. I was like, wait a minute, these people, they're not acting, are they? Like this is just a video game, right? We're just playing Atlas, and it's kind of like Dungeon and Dragons, and we're just right. Like in Dungeon and Dragons, especially the way that I DM, there's a lot of OOC talk, right? It's a lot of you explain to me the environment your character's in, and then the rest of us listening are now there. I'm not really big on figurines and stuff. I like that visualization.
Oh God,
Uh,
nope, you're
yeah.
good.
So.
I
Oh, I
clicked
did
something.
Funky Cole Medina there. Ooh.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, let me know next time so that I can like do something lewd and crude and then get it in
Nope.
before it turns back on. Okay, never
Nope.
mind. I have no idea where I'm supposed to look. Am I supposed to look at you? I
You,
guess. Am I
I
supposed
also,
to
well,
smile more?
I look over there a lot because, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you feel. Yeah.
So I was watching streams and I seen a dwarf. Right. I mean, again, I only come to Dark Side because I followed Cletus there. He said it plays better. Right. I just wanted it to play on my laptop. Right. So that's why I came to Dark Side was because it played better. I had no idea, no concept of it at all. And then I saw a dwarf on a stream, and I was like, it's just light bulbs were going off in my head. I was like, they're just improv acting. I can do that. You know, like it's simple, right? It's just you and me talking back and forth, right? It's just all this stuff. Okay, so like we used to go into the shopping mall. I'm old, right? So
Yeah,
back before the
sure.
internet, back before the internet, we used to go into the shopping malls in improv, right? And you know, you just work with each other off of improv theory and classes that we did and stuff like that. So um I was just like, okay, if that dude has a dwarf and that person has a goblin, then I'm bringing Keeble, right? And I'm gonna do a halfling. And Atlas is wonderful for being able to make that character model. Really, it is. So um, ever since then, I've just been doing what I've done when I was young, and just
Huh.
come in and improv theory and acting, and did a bunch of stage stuff when I was younger and whatnot. Oh, throat's dying.
So when you say,
Pardon me.
so you say I came from late shift just like everybody did, and I came
Yep.
from something else you said just like everybody. Um,
Mhm.
do you think there are like waves or generations of us? Because I've heard of them, but I've never even seen them. They existed before I had even looked at anything, you
I have
know?
no idea, bud. I have no idea. I didn't even know Twitch existed until Atlas come out. I think I must have saw a Burke YouTube video
Mm-hmm.
and then followed it to the Twitch somehow. I don't even remember that. I didn't even know what Twitch was. See, yeah, the biggest thing for me, before I forget, because I ramble on, isn't the acting part, right? Like, 'cause I've done that. I've been on stage, you know, a long time ago, all that stuff, right? So, um, before we get into it, yes, I have my HUD on all the time.
Okay, gross, but
Right.
cool.
I'm an old
Do it.
I'm an old stage guy where we're used to memorizing stuff for 4 months and rehearsing, and you get to know everybody's name, and you dress rehearsals and you know everything. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go on stage and you pretend you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tool for me that helps.
Yeah.
Anyway, I lost my point. What were we talking about?
You had something written down. I don't know. I can't see your
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're already there. Ask how it all started. Blah blah
Okay.
blah. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, you and me, really, like we haven't had a whole lot of RP together, have we? I think we know each other more through the stream than anything, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Definitely. But
I think so.
so I can, as I said, I can tell like what you're doing in this RP, this world that you're carrying around with you, and like all this stuff, right? I can tell it now.
Yeah.
But you just said you've been on stage before and you've
Yeah.
practiced improv before.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of us have done any of that.
Keith
So,
Johnstone. Go if you want a good read. Go look at Keith Johnstone story Impro for Storytellers 1 and 2. All right. That's what the professionals. That's just one theory. One theory.
hmm,
I believe the Chicago Improv Playhouse is under Keith Johnstone theory. So that's the stuff I was taught when I was young. I didn't know that guy. Maybe my mentor did. I don't know.
hmm,
But it's all about making mistakes together, right?
yeah,
Because essentially, in every improv theory, all improv fails in the end. It all fails. Eventually, someone sails away home. Eventually, the story's done. Somebody's got to go to sleep. Eventually, somebody says something they didn't mean to, or there's a glitch in the game and everybody sees something lame. It's not a matter of that we're failing. And this is, again, the advice I would give to a new player. When you come in, it's not a matter that you're going to fail because you are.
yeah.
It's like you're very much going to crash and fail over and over and over. It's that we did it together. And again, the improv theory is that we cheer and we have a great time together. And yay, I failed, I failed. And everybody else around goes, yeah, you failed. Woohoo. You know, because I know I'm going to be the one next. And then we move on, right? Because now we have the confidence in ourselves to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to screw up here. Um, but that's okay because I know that we have a grander thing, right? When we're in improv acting, and we've all agreed we're going to say colors, right? Back and forth. Like, go ahead, say color.
Purple.
Purple. See, I failed right away. I said the same color,
Of
right
course.
away. The first
Right.
right, and it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? So, purple, brown, blue, and see, and I failed right away instantly. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this with him tonight, and I'm going to kick his ass. No,
Let's go again. You go
see,
first.
that's
I'm
what it
ready.
is. That's what it's all about, though. No, that's what it's all about. It's about failing together. Now we both had a great time. We're both smiling, and then we can go on to other theories, right? And it's better when you're together and you're, you know, pointing at things. You all agree to point at something in the room together, and you go bang, 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 and that's all I'm doing in game with Keeble. I'm just listening for somebody to say that one word, and if I can ever get my voice right so I don't ruin people's experience, then yeah, it'd be even funnier.
I I don't think, for the
Uh-oh.
record, I don't think you ruined anything at the wedding. Um. Uh-oh, did you lose
Wish
me?
I was a Hellcat.
Okay, yeah. So, like,
Will they are swell the same?
I don't think the voice junk, that whatever it is, the mic, none of that stuff was bad. I don't think. I think you worry about it way more than it actually matters, and
I do that
I,
every day, though. Every day I perform the
eh,
night before, right? I go back and if I know I'm on somebody's stream, I'll go back and I look and I dissect it. I see what I can do better. I see what I was trying to do. How did I include everybody around me? How did I facilitate their story? It's difficult with Keeble because he's fantasy and not everybody can groove with fantasy. So I think next time I'm probably going to do a straight human.
hmm.
Um, you notice people who are like, and I'm no different. The museum was a great example of how wonderful RP exists, and you just can't take part in it because it's going to break your own storyline, right? So I think I'm going to just maybe veer a little away from the fantasy next time, and maybe enjoy some of that other RP that might persist without great big hairy feet.
I have so many thoughts. Let's go with the first one right now.
Mhm.
I asked you to do this previously, and you said no.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
Because guess what? Oh, I forgot to do this. Number one, I forgot to do this. Shut but I'm such a jerk. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
That's what I wanted to do. Because now I made it. Look, y'all, I made it.
Yeah. Welcome to
Yeah.
here.
Well, anyways, yeah. Welcome to here. I meant to resub at the start and start out that way. I'm so
Oh
lame.
well, there's a delay on subbing, so you might have to wait
Yeah.
on that. I'll let you know if
Anyways,
it pops up. Anyway, get around.
reality is, bud, is that even though at the start you didn't know what you were doing and who they are, you're a well liked individual, right? Um, First time I come out here and started watching your streams, you were like, "No, I'm not a streamer, man. I just turn on for us, just for my friends." And I was like, this person is like super awesome just to sit and hang with. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't care if you said it was just for you and your pals, and we're not pals yet, but I'm just doing it. And and then you started doing the interviews, and you had such a great interaction with so many people all the way through there, and just being you, right? You're just being you, not even knowing what you're doing. You're like, I'm just gonna go and be me, and that's the improv theory you didn't even know you're doing naturally. Is that you just made your mistakes all the way through it, and then woke up tomorrow and went and did it again, right? And then learned from them and tried better next time, and that you didn't even know what you were doing and you were doing it right. So that's the groovy part. I lost my
Uh,
point.
that's cool. The important
I'm
part of what
old.
you said is, when I started, I wasn't doing it for my friends. I didn't have any friends, so now I
Well,
do.
it's a badge. There you go. Sorry to get, yeah, I lose my point. Thanks for bringing me back. It's like a badge in a sense. It's though I noticed it right away with the interviews the first time you did them. I know you don't feel that way, but it's just the way it is. And there was a lot of people who, and it's no different than RP when you were talking with it earlier, um, with the dude who played Elias. Sorry, I love that character.
Denver.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Um, those who are on the fringes sitting out there not doing anything, and you want to go and you want to include them. You want to purposefully go there and ask them about what they're wearing or what they're doing or why, and engage them in that kind of thing. So, in that same vein, you know, that person who's watching the stream right now is part of the community,
Yeah.
quietly sitting there saying, "Gee whiz, I sure wish I had my turn there.
Well,
Wow, I don't know how to do that. I wish I was them. He's so cool. He does multiple characters and tries to get in people's buildings and not get stuck on the way back out, which I legitimately built things hoping you'd get stuck in and I'd find you in the morning.
well,
Leave little signs. Hey, Boxster, I know you were here. It's total meta, right? I learn it, and that's what I'm just learning how to put it together in an RP community. There's my struggles, right?
it's so crazy that like you are a literal acting doctor to us because we don't know what we're doing, right?
Yeah. We have some. We do it. I have had a couple of little classes for folk, and it's just us together. It's not anything. It's just us doing
Yeah, but
stuff together.
that's cool. And you just said, here's a thing I struggle with that some of us don't ever do because we limit ourselves or whatever. Like I don't necessarily meta because I don't watch streams. I don't look at your name. I don't have any
Mhm, mhm,
notes, So
mhm, mhm.
that's it's really cool that you say that and you put yourself out there, but also that you're working on it and that like when you work on
Oh
it,
yeah, endless every
you
day. I
teach
just
us, right?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, man.
Well, it's together, right? It's making those mistakes together, right? That's what it's about.
Yeah. Wow.
Right, learning and like I can act, it's no problem. Like the two of them were saying it before. You see, when they started, they were naming off all these movie characters and book characters that in the light of this person and that person, and that's how I want to build my character. Like I highly advise everyone to do that. Find that little thing, that painting, and then imagine what that painting's voice is, and then you become your version of that character. That's what acting is and stuff.
I don't
Like I can do that, but
I
how
don't
do I
have that.
apply that to a
What?
RP world, right?
I
Well,
don't have
there's a
that.
separation. There's a separation between. See, when I first came in, my first season of Keeble, legit Keeble, um, we got the server was being coming down in the final week, and BBB come in.
Yeah.
If you remember them.
Uh-huh.
And I was legit mad, man. I was like, how dare they, stinking trolls? How dare they come in and do this in the last week when Vened said he's going to take pictures of everybody's builds, and now they're threatening to blow it up. And I just didn't understand how to apply improv to the environment we're in. And that's you slowly learn and learn and learn that these were great actors, and they were trying to finish their storyline, which I should have looked at it like it was a blessing I was part of it, right? And tried to facilitate their show. But instead, my butt was all hurt. You know, who
Wow.
knew?
So
Drama in a drama community.
so you say that, right? When Boxer first started, he sounded like me, kind of. I keep saying he was a little posh, but he sounded just like me.
It was like Eeyore
And
from Winnie
no,
the Pooh.
that's
That's
not
what
what
I
he
heard.
sounded like. He sounded like this,
You're
okay?
mad now. Look at your man now. Screw you, I bite. That's not what sounded like.
No. I'm telling you this story, like that you probably because nobody knows, like this was supposed to be Boxster, and he was supposed to be like this, and he kind of sounded like this, and this is how he sounded, and he was this fast and all this junk, okay?
It's
And
beautiful.
then, and then this thing happened, and I was so mad that I could not move past it. Right? I was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
mad
Been
that
there. Yeah.
I I said this must change the character, but I don't want to perma. I don't want to let them win.
Yeah.
So
Permas are really difficult, man. They should only be given as a reward, only, not for us. They should only be given to that other person as a reward for something they've done in RP, only because if it's in any other way, you'll regret doing it, especially if you're not allowed to ever bring them back, right? But if you give it to somebody as a gift to them for their hard work, you'll remember it forever, and it's a gift you'll always share. Yeah,
huh.
and it's really cool and groovy.
Well, so that's how Boxer became Boxer. That's he had those scars, he had that damage, he had that slowness, he had that sadness, all from my rage, right? So I did what you just said. We felt the same exact thing, and I turned it into like this completely new character. And scene swap. um, um, but I don't know anything about permitting. I've done it one time, and I did it because I didn't know what I was doing.
I
But
just did it last week on a character and totally screwed it up, and then talked to the people on OOC and said, "I'm so sorry. I did this and I did that, and I didn't realize the game controls well enough and
oh,
screwed it up." And they're like, "Oh, it was good. It really went okay." And I'm like, "Oh, look, I'm sorry if I hurt you in any way." And they're like, "No, we're good, and it's so awesome. We can go forward, right? Making mistakes together."
well, tell me, Doctor RP, you said
No,
reward
I'm not
people.
Dr. RP. I've
Wow.
improv and
Okay,
act.
improv.
I'm
Okay, good point.
learning how to
Good point.
apply that within the RP environment. And these are things of why we learn from you, right? You're
That's a good
learning, we're
point.
learning.
Um,
It's
so
all a different stage.
you clearly have theories about permaing. How
Yes.
how would we start again? Are you going to start a new character on that
Yeah.
server?
Yep. 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 Oh, I've switched characters 2, 3 times in a season.
How do
Easy.
you
Just
you
I'll
said
permit
you
a
have
heartbeat.
this acting where you can know all this stuff and you set it aside. Do you have tips for after you've permed or even just meta? Do you have tips for setting things aside?
Yeah, I'm like a method actor. Like you look at Sally Field and what's his name from The Godfather? Goodness gracious. What's his name? Al Pacino, right? They had a lot of mental issues later in their life because they're method actors, right? Right. So
Okay.
this is the line. This is the line everybody's going through right now with RP, in my opinion. Okay, they are themselves, right? And you're playing a game, and you're yourself. So then things happen to your character that you're trying to learn how to develop, and you're trying to learn how to do this, and then things happen, and it's like this happens to me, which is a real thing for a method actor like Sally Field and Al Pacino, who in Godfather 3, if you watch the making of it, um, Scorsese would have to come over to Michael and say, Michael, tell Al we need him to this, or this. And there's Pacino over on the side, still as Michael Corleone, even though the camera had said cut, right? So I feel that it's that same dynamic that people are feeling. And then how do you turn that off once the camera's off, right? So that you're not stuck in that feeling, right? And that's not easy to do. Um, so I feel that once we can kind of transcend or move past that, sorry to be monotone,
Oh, you
but
good.
and realize that it's just a character, right? We're on off, right? You're on stage. You're acting as that character. You're pretending to be your version of whatever that is, right? So if something negative happens you didn't expect, um, it's not against you. It's not personal, and
Um,
takes a long time to get over.
there's this thing. There's this thing I hate, and that is talking about your character. Yeah, I'm
As
not there
somebody
yet.
different than you, as
Yes,
somebody
I
different,
I
yeah,
hate it,
yeah,
but we should do
it has
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 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 100%. You should do that. It is most definitely its own individual. This is what you're trying to mold, right? This is what you're trying to perceive. This is what you're trying to give your audience, those who are in this crowd out there that are black and you can't see because the lights are on you. And you know you've got to walk 12 steps this way, turn this way, listen to their cue, know your lines, but know their lines too, so that you can, go off of each other. And it's presenting that to them that it's all about. Now I've learned in RP that it's our audience is each other,
Yeah.
right? We are each other's audience. So we want to give that other individual the tools in order to perform, right? We want to give that to them. They said it good earlier that with the Bhagatha stuff, you know, and if at the end of my night, if I've given to those around me and allow them to shine, even if it's at my expense. Often at my expense is even more rewarding for me because then I know that I've given of myself for them. Um, then yeah, that's well nice spent. It's a good way to spend a few hours of my life.
Right,
I'm off
right, right.
topic. I have no idea what we're talking
No,
about,
no,
but
no. Like
I'm old.
I'm just gonna. No offense. I'm gonna take every idea you could possibly throw at me and think about it. Because like, if you've got all this experience, you are like the resource, right? So I gotta get
Yeah,
there.
yeah. By all means, and anybody listening too, send me a DM. I'd love to talk to you about stuff.
And
Again,
Indusha,
and I need to learn about RP, like again, how to apply it in a world, how to know my mic is set up right, how to know that I'm actually affecting other people's RP halfway down the beach, right? Even though the poem was great and funny, and uh, strange things. Oh, I guess I got to do it in Keeble's voice. I'm so used to doing Amarillo's voice. Strange things down on Midnight Sun. You know, well, Keeble, can you answer this question for us? What's that? Where the fuck is Tennessee? Oh, I don't know. I've never been to Tennessee. Right? Like it's like it broke everything. So we were having fun anyways. But all it took is somebody to really be on their ball and say, how did you cremate somebody in the Yukon? Keeble, you're a halfling, and all that. Right? So it was fun, but it was a fail.
okay.
Right? But
I
we failed
I
together. We
I
moved on.
don't I don't think it failed. I thought it was really cool.
It failed for those who are that next spot, though, right? Those who were, if the bog, those who were playing the Bogathas were there. The Celt, those who play the Cots. It
Yeah.
was a break for them. It was a break for them. I know. This is why I hang out with them for 2 seasons. I know it was. They will never admit it to me, but I know it is. I know. They know those intricacies, and that's why I enjoy hanging out with them so much. That next level,
So
beautifulness.
Anandusha said this idea that I also have that I tried to express that there are these rituals that put you into character and out of character,
Yeah.
and that's the same idea I have for permas personally, because in my opinion it feels like the match is still going, whereas it should be the match ends when your character ends. You shouldn't have the
That's the thing,
story.
though. That's the thing, though. Like I tell people when I'm watching streams, and they'll be in, and I do a lot of cowboy RP, right? A lot of
Uh-huh.
that, and I don't like talking about other communities when I'm talking about one here. So, and a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna when I see Amarillo again, or when I see Edward again, or somebody's got the train because I'm blessed with being able to do the train stuff." Um, I'm like, I'm excited for my character
Yeah.
to find this information out, right? Like it's not me. I know my script. I know my lines. I know what street name the theater's on. I know your kids' names. I know the little buggers spilled spaghetti all over me last Thursday at the dinner after our rehearsal, right? Yeah. I'm getting carried away. I don't even know what we're talking about. Sorry, I'm
Well,
old.
first off, for that point, you're welcome to promote anything you want, because a, this is my stream. B, we're always looking.
WildRP.com.
Wild RP.
WildRP.com. Go apply. It is a quintessential cowboy experience of our time.
Hey,
WildRP.
I applied to New Day, if that matters to you. Isn't that the sister one or whatever?
Hey, hey, I will repeat the words of the owner of that particular server that I'm
Oh
applying to.
God, I didn't mean to do anything important. Oh God.
No, no, no. It would be better if more people were interested in Red M overall, no matter what community it is.
Okay.
It would be better for if more people were into the Western RP in general. And
Well,
I agree with that.
so I like I said, I don't watch a ton of RP. Rayormi is a person that I watch.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. I really enjoy
She's
her. Yeah.
great. She's
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
people who like helped my stream out early on. Not that it's huge or
Rayormi.
anything, but yeah, she's
Mr.
great. And she does a lot of that wild Western
Yeah, we were
RP.
together. We were together in that community I'm part of for a little while. The difficulty is like all communities, if you were European, right? The numbers tend to slow, right? So if you, especially if you're trying to create a show and put a program on, like there's really very little. You want something, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be what you can do if you're, especially if you're trying to create a show, a storyline.
Ooh, here's an opinion you can only give to, I mean, only you can give, I guess. Do you find value in whitelist and having public servers separate?
Yes, yes is the simple answer. Um, when I get from Atlas, I don't get anywhere else, right?
Okay.
That joyous, that fun, that slapstick, but yet dedicated to the role, right? You can tell the difference between those who are role playing, who are dedicated to their character and facilitating those around them, right? Putting them in a position to succeed in the craft, right? And that's why I like the idea of a whitelist. The Cowboy RPM in particular, they have actual interview process that turns a lot of people off, but it's a wonderful way for them to get to know each other and just have a talk before you come in and just know what everybody's expectations are going in. So I like that. But that being said, I think I'm done with doing that. Right? Like I the last GTA one I was part of, I had staff reach out to me, and that was wonderful. I think that's kind of more what I'm after now. That like if you want me to be part of your community,
Mhm.
then by all means, let's do something really neat. If I'm into it, I hate Conan, so that's not going to happen. Um, it's too dark. At any rate,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm more that way, but I do get it. Because like one of my pet peeves. Can I say pet peeve here?
Sure, I don't care. I mean, you can say anything you want. I don't. Well, not
Um,
anything. Hold on. No TOS stuff, I guess.
no, I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it when people say it'll be in their head. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, man. I
Hate it, hate it,
agree.
hate it, hate it. Like there's the outhouse. We just talked about the stupid outhouse for
Yeah.
20 minutes, and it was 10 minutes longer, and we needed to talk about it, but Eyebyte doesn't know how to shut up. So we talked about it for 20 minutes, and then you said you're gonna be in your head for a second.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I
Everybody here's working real hard here tonight. We're all trying real hard to facilitate each other and put each other in position to look beautiful tonight so that when you go to sleep, you're going to feel like a champion. And you said you're going to be in your head again.
I honestly think that like
Sorry,
it
it's all fun. I love everybody. I love
yeah,
everybody.
I agree, but at the same time, I would put your acting far above us, right? Even if we're good at it, even if you're immersed or whatever. So, um, I think that a lot of
Thank
us
you.
don't have the skills
There's so many
to.
more who are better than me than at this whole thing,
Okay, sure, but
especially applying it to the current stage that we're on. Right? I'm very poor at that. Right?
well, even if that's true, I I can only comprehend so many thoughts at once. Like I don't have practice doing it. I don't have practice thinking about the player and stuff. So when I need to go do something right now, if if I haven't thought about it, if I haven't said, "Oh, I'm going to go count the leaves on that bush," or Shrimps talks about licking the dock all the time, which I think is funny. She's like, "I'm going to go lick the dock, see what it tastes like." And then she's AFK. Ha, hilarious. But if I
Sure.
haven't practiced,
It gives me something to talk about with her when she returns.
well, if I haven't practiced, I sort of freeze maybe, and maybe the
Okay?
only thing is I'll be in my head, and it might not be every time, but it's one of those like it's so easy to say, even though it pulls people
Oh,
out.
my first 2.5 months, easy, of Dark Side was horrendous. Horrendous. Just horrible. Take this jacket off. I'm overheating. They're
It's
just
hot here too.
horrible. Like we've all been new, right? We've all been there. Like and that's the thing I try to say when you're RPing with somebody and they're like, "Oh, I'm at work. I gotta go." Okay, well we're alone. That's cool. We're alone.
Yeah.
Right? I'll just bad mouth you while you're there. Whoever's listening to you, right? That's
uh,
fine. You know, Just pee on your boots again. What did you do that for? I told you
Yeah.
not to do that. So, yeah.
I actually don't like dreams or
Mhm.
nightmares either. I
Yeah, it's that breaking that wall to the audience, right? Excuse me, right? You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to. There's times in RP in other servers, especially when server gets up and running, where you could have 3,000 people watching you right now. You have no idea, like who's streaming and who's
right,
there. Big streamer decides that they want to jump in for the weekend.
right.
Um, you can't break that wall, or instantly they're disinvested. Is that the word? Or whatever.
I have no idea.
Uninvested, or yeah, uninvested all of a sudden, right? And you don't want that. You want to keep that persona that it's that you're not breaking it. So just a little, and it's surprisingly little effort. It really is. Just to just say, look, I gotta, nature calls, right?
Yeah.
Practice the nature calls, right? Gotta get nature calls. Something, right? Something. You gotta, like say, lick the dock and just practice it on your own on the way to work, right? Just get used to
That's
saying it rather than in my head. Just do that. It's the same amount of words.
yeah, that's
It's easy.
true. The practice part
Oh
is the
yeah. Oh
important
yeah.
part. Yeah, you're right. Um, the only one I like, the only one I like is the sea dogs and the sea cats or whatever. When you hear someone's pet,
This dog barking back. God, stupid sea dogs are active tonight. Yeah, I was bad for that. My dogs are gone now.
oh,
But yeah, for
lame.
sure, for a large part of Atlas, they were there and they would bark. And my angel was a squealer, so it would be piercing through everything. Like say, someone else said it, sea dogs, and I was like, that's. I'm gonna use that from now on.
Yeah, I
That's
like that one. Yeah.
mine. Yeah, it's mine. Sea dogs from now on.
um, I shoot, I didn't write any questions down because I didn't feel like I needed to.
Yeah,
Um,
we would just get through it just fine.
yeah, I so you have all this experience with characters.
Mhm.
Do you write like the backstories and stuff, or do you just
Yes
improv it
and
like I
no.
do?
Yes and no. Like I just wrote a big thing. Hashtag meta for anybody here from Wild RP who doesn't want to know. I just wrote a big thing for Amarillo to come back into state because I needed time away from RP and I have a larger role there. They've blessed me with the ability to spawn the train in at will, and not everybody can do that. And so I was just too much, right? So I took some time off RP, and then you guys started with Gigi right at the perfect time because I was like, I just miss everyone from there so much. And I'd had time off, so it was a wonderful bring me back into RP and get me back on the stage kind of thing. Um, I lost my point. What were we talking about? Because I
Backstory.
all of a sudden
Do you write
so yeah, I
big
wrote
backstory?
I wrote a thing for Amarillo because Amarillo he's a big role in that community and head of security for the rail line, and so I had to I have to give a reason why he's gone, right, and make it viable for him to return. So yeah, I did a little fun things to mess with the law department and a few outlaws, and everybody who knows me knows I got a little something going on, and I would love to transition that to Atlas in a larger way. I really would love to bring that larger story that brings so many communities together. And I do have ideas, but we'll just see how that goes. Yeah,
Okay. What?
you got to keep me on track, man. I babble. I'm old, man. Like I
No,
don't
no,
want to be your
no.
dad.
Like literally. Like I said, I'm just like thinking so many things. Like if you continue to talk, I continue to think like, how does this affect RP? How does it apply? Like I'm learning,
Always,
apply. You
always
know,
about
like
that. Again, like always try. Okay, so if you're brand new and you've never done this before, right? And I guess somebody had said this to me when I was first watching Cletus build things on his stream way back then, and just wanted to watch Atlas, right? And that excuse me, pardon me, that it's just about being in the moment. Like these people want you there as much as or more than you want to be there, right? The more you learn about this, you realize that they're needed. this yes and thing, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. I forgot to write down, right? So this yes and concept, like there's a lot of times, especially with Edbert, my train guy and hitting the head with fucking axe, man, and he can't talk right, and all that, right? Well, he just goes, yep, nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope, all day long, right? And he's saying no all the time to things, but everyone around is like question, 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 and it's a yes and no based on what they're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's keeping their conversations going, and it's listening in all the time to those other things. So it's what we were saying before with the improv when we were going to do the colors, and you kicked my butt right away, and I said purple, and you said purple, or vice versa, and I
That's
failed
not
right
how it
away,
happened, but
right?
yeah.
It's just sitting there listening to their words and realizing that they actually want you there. They need you there, right? So even if you're going to go and fail, we're all going to fail. You're going to go in and your voice isn't going to be the same today as it's going to be 2 weeks from now. Everybody's voice is different, right? And just go and have fun because they really want you there, even if they're acting like a total bugger, right?
Yeah.
That it's just their character. And I think that we all have room to learn that okay, if your character is a sneaky hidey guy, like
Uh-huh.
Boxster kind of was, right?
Sure,
It
yeah.
does no good at all to anyone if you're sneaky hidey and you don't let anybody know you're sneaky hidey, right? You have to sneaky hidey in a way that everybody sees you sneaky hidey, right? You have to say in RP a lot of times people are like, Cable, don't say that. Oh, why would you say that, right? Well, because the RP improv tools say that I have to let them know what I'm doing so that I facilitate them to react upon my actions. And it
Hmm.
goes hand in hand and hand in hand, right? Um, yeah. So like you can, I don't really know how to do this survival game thing. I've never had any PvP. I've never had a ship
Yeah.
battle yet.
Yeah.
Almost 5,000 hours of play, and I've never had one. I've been knocked out on RP because I'm totally submissive to it. Right? So he's like, we're gonna take him home. I'm like, oh, good, a good kidnapping, woohoo! Like nobody likes a good kidnapping, but you want them to know that you're okay with
Yeah.
taking them away, and we'll see what comes of it, right? Because that's why, like Kale Scope or whomever it was earlier said, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
You can go play single player game if you want. You can go play, public. Right? We're here. I'm here because of you. I'm literally here
it's
right now because of you.
so interesting that you say like Boxer was sneaky, but you need to leave like you need to be obviously sneaky
Yeah.
because you were probably watching when I wasn't doing that. What I was doing was I was sneaking into bases and stuff just to make a map, right? And it was all leading towards this character idea that I never even got to use.
Nobody does.
But
No one ever
as
does.
I got good at it, I got good at sneaking in or whatever, and maybe all of that stuff I did wasn't necessarily the best because nobody knew I visited. But when I
Repeat
gave
always
out
fails in the end.
when I
Improv
gave
always
out
fails in the end.
invitations to Boxer's birthday party, I left a clue every single place. It was an
Yep.
invitation to the birthday party, and look
Yep.
at how many people showed up. Like, you're so
Yeah, how
right.
frustrating is that? How frustrating is that? I just sailed for 2 hours, man, to go see a thing, and I knew they were here, but my character now doesn't know they were here.
Yeah,
And
true.
right, I want my character to know so that I can go home and tell my company that this is what I think I saw. I know what I saw as the actor, but my character, right? I need to go back and then they can go and say, hey, I heard this and this. And then they go to the next island and this and this. And without even trying, it's facilitated the RP of 20 other people, all because you decided to sneak along the top of a ridge that everyone if they looked up would see you rather than run around the other side of the island.
Huh.
Simple. Simple little things that
Huh.
feed the RP of everybody else because it's the only reason we're there, in my opinion.
So you are definitely an advocate of male, and I am pretty much anti-male.
I hate writing. I hate writing. I hate it.
Well, Sure.
Even though Biscuit was part of the Blue Star Gazette for a while. And,
Yeah. I mean, I think you delivered more than you wrote, but I don't actually know.
oh, I had a kick-ass thing too, and they canceled it 1 week before. Oh, it was beautiful. It would have been wonderful.
Well, I
But see, yeah, Biscuit was just Keeble gone crazy, right? My
yeah,
way to fit in on the stage, right? Keeble's this holy white knight cleric from Faerun and Waterdeep, and then all of a sudden we're in a world of pirates, and he doesn't have his spells anymore. So had to break his mind in order for him to be able to play with our ERP.
gotcha. I I
We
don't
passed
do
our
any.
time.
I don't know. I'm not paying attention. No. Hour and a half is what I'm shooting for.
Really?
These they're running 2 hours, and I'm cool with that. I don't
Cool
have
with
anywhere
that.
to I don't have anywhere to go. But it's if whatever your time is, I'm here for your
No,
time.
I'm
All right, cool.
semi-retired. I love talking about acting and RP and improv. I love it. And again, that's what I'm always listening. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Like I have it easy, right? With Atlas, I don't give you as much as you give me, right? I tell them that Outlaw and Kalo and in our other Discord all the time that you've enriched my life personally, everybody in the chat, everybody listen to this in Futureland. And that's why I wrote that lame thing on top on your event day that the most important thing is you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's true. I don't give you what you give me because I have this one-off character right now. Right? Keeble's just this guy who sits there and I listen for the improv. I'm just listening for colors, right? You're just
Yeah.
listening for essentially what everybody's saying there is just improv. So it doesn't really matter what the topic is. It's just like, okay, so everybody's saying blue, red, purple, bicycle, yellow, green, right? Well,
Yeah.
bicycle. That's what I'm going after. That's
Uh
the thing that's different. That's the fail in the RP, right? That's
huh.
the link to something else. And that's why you'll always hear Keeble go, "Do you want to see my what? Or you want to do what? What?" He's always going, oh my, right? Because I'm always listening to those other things, right? Trying to find that break in the RP, the improv of back and forth, right? It's not that I'm
I
saying yes to your improv. It's that I acknowledge you said it. I'm putting myself in your improv. I'm acknowledging it's real. And then I'm adding mine to it. It doesn't have to be a yes at all in any way. It's that I now acknowledge the ground is on fire. There's lava. The room is lava. The room is lava. Right? That is a yes. To stand up and acknowledge the floor is lava is a yes in RP. And I stand on top so my feet don't break. I've just successfully did RP improv tools with everybody. We together won.
I
Beautiful.
I
I
can't
can't get enough of it.
even. So again, when you talk, I'm thinking about things that have happened, right? Um, and you say, "Oh, I'm looking for the bicycle thing, so that
Yep.
I can go after it."
Always
Okay,
endlessly. Yeah, I'm merciless in this. Those who are really good, my buddies, I really run with a lot. Yeah, I'm merciless,
so
and I expect them to be too. I love it. I love
there's
it.
this.
It's called improv battles. There's such a thing called improv battles where you actually
Okay,
battle each other to try to get the other person to stumble. It's not something I'm really doing, but there is that. It's along that vein. I'm not doing that with everybody. You know right away if somebody's new, right? You
well,
don't want
yeah,
to you don't
no,
want to
no,
beat them
yeah.
up.
Sorry.
You want to
Again,
facilitate them, right? You want them. They're going to say, like, well, where you come from? Do you remember anything of that before you washed up here at the free part? You
yeah.
know.
This is Biscuit, aka Keeble, aka apparently Amarillo, who I've never seen before.
Oh, there's Patty and there's Edmund.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so okay, you called out this bicycle thing, and there was an event, or not an event. There was a scene in which we were sailing back into a port, and we had talked about some junk on a ship, right? And we were kind of avoiding the annoying part of sailing where nobody's saying anything, and we were talking, and
That don't
Gob.
happen on any boat I'm on.
I know it doesn't, because you're better than
Oh no
us. No
no.
offense, but
Not on it. Well, you got to sing what you say all the
I
way there. That's
know,
why.
I
You
know.
got to do that. And then eventually there's still somebody talking at the end because they don't want to stop singing or they're the loser of today.
So Gob
Sorry.
has Gob Gob called out this thing that happened that he said, "Oh, that's really funny," but to me, it was a little funny. And what happened was, I really like talking about words, the meaning of words, and like how they came to be and all that stuff. I'm not a word doctor, but I do enjoy it, right? And he is from Brazil, so he speaks Portuguese as well.
Yeah, he's
And
gorgeous too. He's a lot better than he thinks he is.
yeah, oh man, that guy's a savant. That's what I've learned through all these.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah, he's a lot better than he thinks he is. It'll come in
he
time.
he said something about legumes, which to us is beans, right? Like we speak English, legumes are beans, but to him in Portuguese, it's something else that it's like nuts or something. And we just discussed like the different types of vegetables, and he was like laughing because it was so funny to think of like the type of thing that he thinks as something else. And I was like, I don't understand why that's so funny to you, but you saying, "Oh, I go after the bicycle thing," he's going after the thing that didn't match in his mind.
That's the same thing. Exact same theory.
Yeah.
Same theory.
That's
What
so
doesn't
crazy.
match here? That's what we're all doing. We're just standing around pointing at things we see in the clock, monitor, keyboard, TV, picture, and then as soon as somebody goes, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
Done. The moment's over. It's
Man.
now on to the next one. Now the bigger, grander thing, and this is what I have failed to offer a lot of people in Atlas, and I think I would really like to try to do that, is the more serious stuff, right? And just rather than be goofy about it, it's the same theory. Nothing changes. You're still listening for it. It's just, how would your character react in this scenario, right? So, I've never ever done the mean pirate guy.
Yeah.
I loved what was said earlier about that. Like, you are now forcing this negative experience on this individual. What are you then doing to reward them for enduring it? Right?
Yeah.
They've chosen to stay here. If it's that bad and it's that bad, they're just going to sail away and turn the game off. And now you've ruined their big jerk, right? Like, you've got to give them yourself. Right?
Yeah.
In likely even more if you are a pirate or a pirate captain, even like was said in chat earlier too. Right? Like, we got to be prepared to give of ourselves in order for it to work. And I feel I haven't given Atlas RP really even a fair shake yet. Really yet at all. I feel
5,000 hours.
Yeah, 5,000 hours, 4,000 hours of RP. It's just because I'm just really just sitting there bouncing off of you, right? Making fun of your takes, singing your stupid songs, listening to it as we go along. Laughing at you that you're jealous that you're marrying the one you really love.
Well, that's something we pointed out in the last one. As soon as you repeat it, even if it was wrong, you made me more real. So that's really cool too. So
and my character is nothing without your character. Right? Is absolutely nothing without you. So the fact that I was able to do something that made your character more real makes my character more real. Far better than I could ever make my own character real myself. Ever.
I guess, but my character's also nothing without your character, right?
That's right. That's why we fail together, making mistakes, failing together. Was that one right? Here.
I think another. Oh, this one.
Oh, it's not working.
This one's a video. Oh, okay. Ooh, it's moving. Grand mistakes. Nice.
Yeah, that's my little logo.
Cool.
Having fun making mistakes together.
I think you are also seeing kind of the world, or not the world, the RP world differently, because you're looking for all these things that you're also embodying. You are the bicycle also, because I held
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. I wasn't there last week. I'm not here yet. I want to be there.
No,
right? I've been really bad. There's people who watch this that go, "This dude is full of baloney. I've RP'd with him. He's horrible." Right? I've had bad experiences where I've ruined other people's experience. And if you can reach out in OC and say you're sorry, that's good. If they'll answer you, that's even better. and then just move on, right?
Here's how you're the bicycle. I held a sculpture event. You were your sculpture. That
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
You might not be there all the time, but you're at least there sometimes. And all of those characters were like even the players didn't think of that. I was trying to show them a new way to do art, and you did a third form of art, improv.
Yeah, it's improv. It's all improv theory. It's actually theoretical stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That I'm not good at, and I don't remember very much of it at all. So please, let's not think there's so many better at this than me here. There really, really is. Really,
Well,
there's actors in Atlas RP and all of the communities that I still feel I owe a lot of effort to, because they have given me of themselves, and I don't feel I've given it back. Other than I'll wake up, please tell me if there's something going on this weekend so I can wake up and come and act like an idiot and make you smile for a while. It's fun, but it's not lasting. It's not lasting like Nero's MD is. We talked about a couple of times ago, right? That's why I wanted to know if Kalescope and them were going to keep doing these characters all the time, because now that you've impacted everybody else at this level, everybody else wants you to give us more of it. It was so beautiful, right? You know that's what we want. Even if it's a different character, we want more of you. And that's, those are hard to give up and move on to another character with.
Okay.
I know I jump all over it, buddy.
No. On that specifically, that's a thought I've had about you specifically. I've seen Biscuit, and I've seen Keeble, and
yeah, hopefully there's a difference in them a little bit.
There was, but I mean, we also didn't hang out. It wasn't But
that's right.
You say, "Oh, there's Amarillo," and I'm like, "Show me! Really, I want it!" Like, to see Brock play Mythocles and whatever his character was before that, whose name I don't know because I never really met them. To see the huge difference between those two characters is insane to me, and to recognize how good you are and how good you can be, I just want to see you do it. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you, and I would like to see you as well, and I would like to see you as well, and everybody else. For me, it was like, again with Amarillo, I've never played that quintessential hero of the West, that old Clint Eastwood or John Wayne character, right? So I created my own version of that. His name is Amarillo Marnin, M-A-R-N-E-N. He's the knockoff of what George Strait would be if he was a cowboy of back in 1900, and I sing all along the way as we go, and that's what I do, and it's fun, right? But it's looking at that for me. It's seeing that character that you would like to portray.
Yeah.
Right. And then develop it, right? Imagine it in your mind, and then I don't come up with a voice till usually at the end. It's really not till the end that I come up with this voice. It's the hardest part, right? And it's going to change in 2 weeks anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. Telescope says that it's hard to give up characters because people love them so much.
That's the greatest thing about the Atlas turnover, is that you have that ability. The other server I'm in, when you or one of the other communities I'm in, when you perma, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
You're never, ever bringing that character back here ever again. So you definitely want it to be a gift to somebody else in that regard.
When you say, and other people say, Boxster's so great. I love Boxster. He makes me feel pity and hope and loss and all that stuff. When you say,
how do you get a galleon stuck like that?
Well, okay, it was easy.
Like, seriously, you feel bad for him. You're like, he did what? And that was one thing I was so happy about, because I saw you on stream that night catch that thing, and I'm thinking, watching on stream, going, why are you sailing in there? You have a galleon. It's clearly not a place for a galleon, and I'm learning at that time too, right? So I'm thinking, this dude's next level. This dude's putting it in there on purpose so that he creates RP with everybody else around. I'm like, I love this guy. And I'm learning. I'm like, if he can do that, I can do that too.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's wonderful. It was
Guess
so
what?
wonderful. And then I
Guess
found
what?
out in RP naturally about it as well. And I was like, yeah,
Nope.
yeah, I
Guess
did
what?
that.
I'm
Mm.
just an idiot. I believed it would go all the way through. I believed
I
it.
know. I watched the stream. I know. After I went back, I was like, now that I know you, I'm like, yeah, I know. But
I
it's
believe.
beautiful. You wanted to feel bad for it, and that is what a real good character will give. It'll create an emotional response in other people. Right now, it's what emotion in this regard, where so many people are not stepping away from themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're staying in that role, not unlike what a method actor does, and it can create issues, and that's why we get emotionally tied up in it. But um, losing my point. What was I saying?
Um, my point was,
Yes, please.
you all love this character Boxster.
Yes. Oh yeah, because you want to believe in him. He creates in that in us. So that's what you want to. That's the jello at the end of the night. That's the real thing. When you look at those around you and you created that in them,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what it's all about, right? Losing is winning in RP. Don't give a
Yeah.
flying fadoo about a ship. I mean, I get it. You just spent all day yesterday harvesting the stuff and building
Nope.
the thing
Mm-mm.
and all
Mm-mm.
of that, and
Nope.
it's mad, and you don't want to lose that, but you can do
So
that in single player, right? Like it's
when
all
you all
about
say this
them.
stuff, when you say I love Boxer, I want to see more Boxer, what you're saying to me is, and what I hear is, I want to watch you shred your soul apart in front of me because that's
Yeah.
what I was doing. Because I
Amen.
had no separation at all.
Amen. Amen.
So
Amen. Yep.
I
100%. I'd love that.
I get
And
that
when
you
I
love
know
him.
that but when I know that you're giving me that, right?
Yeah.
And it yet being sorry, but being adult about it in a sense, maybe that's a better word, or being able to know that you're not really going to carry that heartache in your personal life and try to play in traffic or something. That you're actually going that far on my behalf. Yeah, I just want more, man. I just want more. No matter what character it is, I just want more and more and more and more and more of it. Yeah, I'm gonna come visit you tomorrow. You just know that,
Well,
that the
I'm
dummy's
telling
gonna be
you,
here tomorrow.
I'm not an adult. I had all of the heartache all the time. So
Yeah, yeah, we got to
I
get through
can't
that.
I can't
It's
play it
it's
anymore.
it's trying to see our character as a different entity,
Yeah.
right? Rooting
Yep.
for our character, wanting our character to find stuff out. I can't wait till my character finds this out because I can just see in my mind what they'll do.
Yeah.
And like all RP, only 10% of it ever works out, any plan, right? Because, like I said, improv always fails. So at the
Yeah.
end of the season, we're all desperately trying to get our stories done, and we don't. And the
Yeah.
season ends, right? Because it's
Huh.
the same for everybody. Now it's time to move on to the next one. We all failed. Season's done. All the RP failed. Done. Now it's time for us to move on together with our
Can
next thing.
since you have so much I guess faceted experience in all these different servers, can you tell when your story is not finished, I guess? Well, I mean, obviously you choose, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. I'm a big believer in deciding one's own perma. Yeah.
I it doesn't even matter to me. Like Pierre will continue to scam the next day even if the server doesn't exist. Boxster was hanging out with his homies no matter what. Like there
Yep.
was never a perma Samson
Yeah,
and
they're still
Chloe
in theory,
stopped to
they're still out
pee, you
there.
know? Yeah.
Yep. It's essentially they're still out there. Yep. Yep. It's
Even
beautiful.
if I never play them again, right? So
Yep.
the story's over, right? Like is that right?
No.
Okay. How
No, the story continues. That's because they're their own entity. They're not you.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Someone else could come and be Boxster and give you a full amount of joy and say, I can't believe that this person reached out to me privately and asked, do you mind if this chapter I do my version of Boxster? And then you're like, yeah, I would love to see that because Boxster is Boxster and have
have
hearts is have hearts. Amazing have hearts is have hearts.
has that
Boxster is just a character. You're you.
Has that ever happened to you? Has anyone, or have you ever played someone else's character, or anyone ever played your character?
Well, back
What
in
a
the
good
day,
idea.
right? back in the yeah, back in the day, like when I actually like I took 20 years off and drove a transport truck for a living, right? Because
Cool.
you gotta work for a living, right? Hence why I can actually have some time off now.
Cool.
But back in the day when I was actually on stage and doing stuff, yeah, you did that all the time, right? It was a perfect tool on how to learn that other character that like these human beings I'm spending the next 6 months of my life with, right? The things that I'm rather than go to the ball diamond or the movie theater, I'm staying home and I'm reciting in front of the mirror again, line after line and line. You know, it's fun to it's fun to stand together and be that other person and bring that other person the joy of, oh my god, I can't believe you see my person that way. Did I really bring it that way? And you're like, no, but I see that your character.
So
And
let's say, like, let's assume that I didn't actually tell you anything, right? And you rolled up on some character, and he was like, "Oh, hi, how's it going? I'm a
right,
little drunk,
Cable Girl,
Weaver.
Quib,
What's it
Weeble,
going
by the
on?"
way. It's Weeble, by the way.
Oh
I
well,
told I promised myself I wasn't going to say that, but
I thought it
oh well.
was, but then I
Well,
was like,
it's all good.
I think it's a religious thing because of the drunk like
That no,
goddess or
no,
whatever.
that
So
was
I was working
no,
on that.
that was the yeah, that was RP that we had decided for Dark Side RP. If it was going to launch right away again, right? We were going to do a pirate group that stole alcohol to appease the gods, and Keeble
Yeah,
was going to be the high priest. And because it was just so long between stuff and stories, I decided to pursue that RP. I think that's all done with Keeble. If I even play Keeble again going forward for a bit.
I
It's the
think
same voice as Patty. I don't like playing the same character in different places. And my
yeah,
Irish character Patty has the same voice. So,
gotcha.
and he's a real jerk, right? Patty don't give a flying about anyone, about anything, and Keeble just loves you.
Yeah, I
Wish I
so
was a cat,
I asked that
what I did for
because
you.
someone brought it up. I think it was Shelter originally, or somehow this idea came up of Common Cleese, who is Mythocles' brother, and it was
Mhm.
me try like the idea was me trying to play Mythocles, but obviously I'm
Great way to
not.
do it. Do a sibling. It's a perfect way to do it. Do a sibling because if you do the exact character, inevitably there's risk that you're probably
Yeah,
going to offend that person just a little bit. But if you do their brother, their twin brother, cousin, aunt, or whatever, you can really. They know you're being that same person. They know between the two of you, and you can have fun with it. But it's not an embarrassment to them, right? Because you don't want to do that, right?
yeah,
You want to honor. You're doing this to honor them, right? You're not doing
right,
this to steal their shine in any way,
right,
right?
yeah,
If you're there to try to, in my experience, logging in and trying to say I want my character to be this by the time I go to sleep tonight, you're just gonna not like yourself by the end of the night.
yeah.
But if you can go in saying I want all those around me, especially if you're in a big company, which I'm a big believer in, to get that out of the way, um, that that that's what it's all about, right? You already know, from yesterday or last weekend their storylines, so you already know you're going to come in and you want to make that your goal. And when you do that, then you can go to sleep at night and go on, that was wonderful. What a wonderful way to spend 3 hours of my life that I could have been reading a book or doing something or rubbing the girlfriend's feet.
my my I keep coming back to these like I'm looking at events in the past with the light that you're shining on and like the ideas and all that stuff. And when I created Boxer's birthday party, if you don't know, I was looking for information on a specific person and I could
Yeah.
not find that person, so I invited everyone I could find to a single
Brilliant.
event.
It was
Right.
brilliant. You didn't
But
know it yet. You didn't know what you were doing, but yeah,
I didn't know, A,
but
and
you were
B,
doing it.
I learned ahead of time the information I needed.
There's Outlaw Deputy.
Yeah. Hi.
I was just singing the Calcott song again.
But it's so interesting that you say, like, obviously it's never going to be exactly what you want, but I
Never,
was
never. 90% of RP will go wrong in your plans.
I
Make your
was
backstory, come into the world, and it's all beauty after that.
I was pretty sure I thought about most
Mhm.
eventualities, most of them. And
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. I will spend. How about okay, here you go. Right for
yeah.
RP that I'm really pushing. I'm creating a story on the train, and I'm making we're doing bank deliveries, we're doing all these things, and you got all these multiple parts rolling. Like it's like 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
I worked 6 hours on the storyline to bring my character back in, just for what, 30-minute chance of interaction. Like
Yeah.
it's all of what you want to give to it, because you know who you're going to present it to. You know what, when you're in a company, you know who's really there and who's not, and you want to give that to them, right? So the more homework you can do, character development and stuff is all positive, if
Huh.
that's the goal, to give it to them, right? Like improv is.
It
Yes, and
wasn't
yes,
though.
and.
Man, I really feel like I'm hitting all the things you're saying, but I'm doing it wrong
Well,
because
that's part of the learning process,
of
right?
course, yeah. So
You're
so
natural. You don't even know it.
I held this event so that I could get info, right? As soon as I had the info, I was like, man, I'll just cancel my
Out of here.
birthday. Yeah,
Ah,
but I
out of there.
didn't. We continued the birthday, but all of the thoughts that I had, like I really wanted a fight to happen. I had invited the Navy, I had invited privateers, I had invited pirates specifically. I wanted a
Love you
fight.
too, outlaw.
And so there was all these thoughts that I had. I let them go out the window because I had my goal and I was like, we're just gonna wing it and see what happens. And Boxer's best friend dies while Boxer watches on the cliff, and I have to do
Beautiful.
the rest of it knowing
Yep.
that eventually I'm gonna find out, but not
Yep.
for hours. Man,
Yep.
F
Beautiful.
that
Love it.
whole event. It was insane, like the amount of stuff that happened around that event, and I didn't
Yep.
even care anymore. It
Yep.
was crazy.
It's beautiful, right? It propelled what, 20 people or
Probably
more?
more than that, yeah, because I
All
mean,
that,
yeah.
even if it was just one little thing, that it was nothing at all in their character development, it just happened to come up in a trade talk at somebody else's dock next week or the week after, and they're
Yep.
like, you were at that party, I was at that party, I saw that, whatever, like boom,
Yeah.
bing. Like I don't know if you, like, if you like an experience level where the little light bulb goes off, bing, bing,
Yeah,
bing, bing,
right.
and then level up, level up. Well, that's what you did, right? That's what that thing was. It was a level up for you, right?
I guess
I'm
so.
getting, I'm getting silly. I'm getting silly. I'm getting carried
No,
away.
no,
But
that's what we're
all
looking
actors
for.
want is a stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
All an actor wants is a stage to act on, right? So these events, you don't have to do anything while you're there. You just have to put them up and stand there, and
Yep.
people will come, right? Because they want that, right? You don't even have to
Right.
try. I don't
Right.
try at all when I come in. I'm going to hopefully do more try for Atlas because you deserve it. But um, I just really just try to put other people in a position to succeed at what they do, no different than. And there is that theory, that impro theory, does improve our personal lives and our building our relationships with others.
Yeah.
It teaches us that it's okay that we fail. It teaches us that their opinion of me is not so much it, that we're all in together. And I acknowledge I'm going to fail, and I'm going to fail with that person at McDonald's, and I'm going to fail with these other people, and I'm okay with it, and I'm going to move forward because I know what I'm trying to be and who I'm trying to be.
The Okay, so let's say hypothetically I am doing it without knowing it, which maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Many others are as well.
Okay. So I do this other thing on streams, or I used to, or whatever, it doesn't matter, called learning something Friday, where I learn some junk, right? And I don't I don't learn by watching some YouTube videos and reading like a narrative or whatever and then like applying it. I just get into some junk and like get into a program and learn how it works, and it's really awful, right? So clearly what you're saying is there are all these foundations, there's all this stuff that I may be doing or may not be doing, and I could go and I could read it and I could learn it and all that stuff, or I could spend years learning it and having interviews and asking people and all that junk. Do you think I should go down one path or the other? Like, is there something I should do?
Well, okay, so I think you are as good at doing RP staging as maybe I am at doing some improv acting.
Okay.
And that somehow we can meet in the middle, and I can learn how to apply my craft
Hmm.
right? My art, no different than an artist paints. I feel my acting is that, as bad as it might be, it's still what it is. And I don't know how to apply that within an RP gaming setting. My mic is screwed up and I can't do things right. And you got that down. Like it's easy, easy breezy cover girl, as they say back when I was young. And maybe you're trying to get better with your craft.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was the question?
Should should I go and just like should I go and study? Is it
If you want to get
worthwhile?
better, yeah. If you want to get better, yeah, 100%.
Will
If that's what you
will
want,
will I
right?
get better, do you think? Obviously slower, but just by bumbling through it, do you think there's any value in trying to bumble through it?
Yes, of course there is. We're together. I mean, again is what your goal is, right? Like
Yeah.
if your goal there tonight is like the Bogathas did with the museum, right? Like the first time they go through that museum, they've got all the glory they're ever going to get from it, right? They've now built their character. They've told the world what their character is. Somebody's seen their show, and they've released it to the world, and that's them. It's them. They're done. That the character's done unless they go out and do something else. Excuse me, a little itchy. Unless they
Uh-huh.
go and do other things with their character, they've now shown the world what their character is. Now, what they want to do is facilitate everybody else who comes in and help them build their story. Right?
Uh,
That's what I got. That's what I got from it. So, if that's what you're after and that's what you want, then yeah, you're. It's important to learn how to do those things. Impro for Storytellers by Keith Johnstone will go a long way if you want to learn how to be an improv actor,
mhm.
and then try to apply that to the stage you're on, right? But yeah, 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 yeah.
How do you
Um,
think? Okay,
if you just want
so
to come in on a Saturday night and have fun, and you just want to just carry your own self through it, right?
uh-huh.
That's all you want to do. You just don't want to let others down. You want to come in, have fun. You work too hard. Life's too damn short. I only got 4 hours on a Saturday to play, and I don't want to. I'm tired of everybody walking away from me in RP,
Yeah.
right? Well, yeah, then yeah, you're just gonna keep working at it, keep having fun, try to put others before yourself, try to see how what am I doing to make their story come out? Because I know when their story comes out, my story will come out without trying.
Okay.
Then that's fine. But if you actually want to be like the Bogthas,
Hmm.
right? If you actually want to be like Stonebridge and all that other stuff, creating a grander story for other people, then yeah, yeah, do your homework. Right? There's tools out there. There's tools out there. There's classes. Talk to me, man. I'd love to hang out with a bunch of people sometime and go along with it. And I'm horrible at it, right? Compared to the people I know who
How
would
do you
never ever
think?
do this. My
Whoa, hold
mentor,
on. I'm gonna
my
get on
mentor
that.
thought I was ridiculous,
How do
but
you
he's in his
think?
70s.
Yeah, what is that guy now? Um,
Yeah, yeah,
just your mentor. Um,
yeah, exactly.
how do you think we should identify the goal of our character or the goal of our RP as a whole? Because I don't know what I want to do.
Well, that's what you got to do. That's your first step, then.
I don't even know how to like. I don't even know how to do it. I don't think like
Okay,
I.
so I have another one of these on the 30th with a pal of mine that's to do with another community, and this was
Okay.
my goal with him because he's taking the time out right now from RP because he permit his character that he loved,
Yeah.
and now he doesn't know how to go forward without that character, right? Well,
Okay.
okay, fine. So what I'm going to do with him is, find a picture of somebody in history, right? Somebody in of 1900s pirate, whatever, an actual somebody, a lord or whatever, right? Look at that picture. Imagine what their voice would be. Imagine who they are. Who would they be? Put yourself in their shoes, right? We all say that, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes before you really know what they're going through. Let's not judge somebody else before in life before we know what they have to endure. And once we realize that, we'll, often enough, we look and we go, holy cow, am I ever
Yeah.
glad I don't have their life, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with acting, to put yourself in that individual's shoes and then have fun with it.
Do you
So that's what I would do.
um do you know like a bunch of philosophy junk and like the theory of Aristotle's virtues and all of that stuff?
upon a time, man. I was homeless
Yeah,
for
sure.
2 years once upon a time. So
Nice.
yeah.
Welcome to here. Hey, if you are homeless or have experienced homelessness in the past, there's a link down below. Check it out.
Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
It's not that great. Anyway,
Well, I technically lived in my car. I technically lived out of my car, but the tent was so much more comfortable. So I just lived in my tent.
I
Yeah, that was one
only
of the
lived
big
in my
things
car.
to your
Yeah.
channel. That
Yeah.
was say that again.
I only lived in my car. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's not that
it was
great,
good.
I will say.
It, it is what it is. There was parts of it that I miss very much.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
get that.
but yeah, I like TV too, though, so I miss that so much.
Yeah, I had the internet on my phone, so I was very blessed. But anyway,
No internet then, fella.
um, wow, I have no idea where I was there.
No, that was one of the big draws to your channel when I first got here was that link. I was
Yeah,
like, okay, this person gets it. Gets it. It's bigger than him. And that's what I'm talking about with your role play, right?
oh yeah,
You
that's
it's about giving to that other person, right? They have spent time out of their life to build their character, build their backstory, talk to you about it, answer your questions, be in the yes now moment. And they acknowledge that the ground is lava. They're up on top of the tables, as silly as it is. You
yeah.
know, um, you know, that's what it's all about. And if you can give that to somebody else, if we all would have just stood there and went, no, it's not. It's not lava.
Imagine
Not lava.
imagine both of them being nerds and we all didn't get up. That kind of would have been funny if we all
Would have
didn't.
been funny for just this long,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Rather
Yeah.
than rather than that long that it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to try, but in the end, you're like, oh wait, hmm.
Yeah,
I
true.
like to joke with people, but I like to use their own words so that if it's really bad, we can always say, look, you said it, not me.
Yeah, true. Okay. Let me read this.
Just always yes and. Always yes and. Every single time. You must absolutely acknowledge what they're saying and put yourself in the middle of it or walk away. And there's so many people do that to me. I know it's because my voice is screwed up. Some people just don't like my type of acting. And some people just can't groove with the fantasy. And I get that too, right?
Yeah.
And I do. I seen it as early as the last time I was in.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You just realize that I've been that person. Sorry for all play child characters and can do everything. We're gonna hang out for a while. I'm gonna do my best for your RP, and then you're probably gonna wake up and my guy sailed away somewhere else with the letter.
Yeah, I
You know, I love you. I want you to do good, but there's just certain things you can be part of and you can't. If you can't be part of it, if you cannot, yes, and then just move along to where you can.
yeah, that's a good point. Like I said at the very beginning, you said, "Oh, I think my character is blank," and I said, "I agreed in the olden times because I didn't understand." And now I get it and I understand and like I'm like, "Wow, this is amazing." So, obviously I've
Fun,
grown.
so much
Yeah.
more fun, isn't it, than just playing the game?
When
Realizing that I just put that company of 22 people as the hero of the day, even
yeah.
though they're bad outlaws or they're bad pirates or whatever, you know, that
You
now they have used this tool. I've been blessed to be part of it. Of the 200 other people who aren't here right now, I get to be the one to be here and I get to fail. My character gets to look crappy, but they're the hero of the sea right now.
Yeah.
It's like a needle to my vein.
I think okay, here's how good I think you are and how much I didn't understand. As Boxster, and this is like base humor and I understand that. If you had farted next to me at ladies night, I would
Yep.
have personally I would have been like, "Ew, that's kind of childish." Or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But when Keeble farted going up the ladder and I was the next person to go up the ladder, not
Amen. Amen.
only
Amen.
not only was it childish, but
Yep.
like I there was no separation there for my character. Like, I understood that the air above me smelled bad, and I thought, what do I do? I'm gonna spit it out of my mouth like it got into my mouth. Like,
It was beautiful.
that's
Watching your VOD afterwards, it was beautiful. I was just oh,
I
and of
was
course you could hear my stupid voice from a whole level up, right? You're in that middle level, and there's Cape. That's I need to learn how to.
no, no,
I
no.
wanted, yeah.
It was broken this season. I can tell you 100%. It is broken in that server, and it was different in Darkside because it had different mods, and that's not all on you. It's
Still
something we
wasn't
all had
using
to.
Whisper.
Well, I
Wasn't.
mean, yeah, but we can't hear anything in whispers, so it needed tuning in both ways. But like, I really get it now more than I got it before. Imagine in 2 years how much I will get it, and like
Amen.
maybe I'll
Amen. Me
like
too. Me
be
too. I feel that way
farther.
too. Yep, I feel that way too. Like imagine if I can just continue each night to facilitate the RP of the other person. I'm going to learn a little more tonight on how to apply my craft on this stage, right? And yeah, we'll get there together, right? And that's why we gravitate to the excellent RPers, and that's why we end up spending 2 seasons and 3 seasons with people. And despite telling ourselves that we're not going to make them endure my crap one more season, you just know that if you bump into them again, it's like a drug. You can't get away, because you know that they're going to do every moment, every step of the way. They're going to try to make you look great, and in turn, you get to have the utter joy of giving it back to them. What a great tool! What a great present to give your friend that you were
Yeah,
talking about earlier. You want to build friendships. That's what this is all about to me too, and to be able to give that to them in return is wonderful. Just it's priceless. There's nothing better in this whole wide world than that.
well, I didn't I didn't write down a single question for you, and it has been like,
Way too long.
well,
Way too
not
long.
too long. Like,
You're
I've grown
stealing
so
somebody else's
much
glory.
just
You're
in this
stealing somebody
hour.
else. Somebody
I
else
can't.
should be here shining in the community, not me. And this is
I
why
don't.
I didn't do it all the times before, and this is why we should get going. The
I
next
don't think
person can
so.
have their turn.
I don't have anyone else for the record. Um,
Oh, so hard to back up those first two. Wow, they ever amazing. Kelscope
I
and IT
agree.
Tech. Oh gosh, they're just incredible. And I just again I wanted to say to you is I wanted so much to be part of that RP, but Keeble's a good guy, right? And for Keeble to go in there and hear that stuff, his brain is gonna go back to Biscuit, and he can't. He's gotta go forward. He's gotta wanna get him maybe back in the Navy someday or something and be a real good guy.
Oh man.
So I was like, I wanna go and do that. But if I take my character there, he's going to flip out in the middle of it, man, and I'm going to
Yeah.
ruin the show for everybody else. So, to kudos to you two. Very difficult thing to follow.
I tell people that these things burn me out. Sure, they like take up my time and my thoughts and all that stuff, but it's also because I hear a lot of the same stuff over and over again. You know, we care about the other players, and we're scared and we're worried and all that stuff. You, while you may have similar thoughts, you, I would say, are a completely different player than a lot of the
Yeah,
people that I interview.
yeah, I'm a different being. Yeah. Well, I've done it
And
before the internet. We used to go into the shopping mall,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Like,
Like we would RP for each other. Like people be walking down with a Zeller's bag or Sears or something, right? And you walk up and, oh, you like going to Sears? Oh, it's a great store. I love Sears. What is it you have in your bag? I bet we bought the same damn thing. You, me, together, but eat. And they're looking at you like you're from some other planet. But your pals over there are killing themselves, right? So this is what you do, right? And you realize that, and the most rewarding is when they finally got it, the people you're harassing horribly. And then when they realize that this is a show, yeah, just yeah,
huh?
it's the best thing ever. It's like a drug. Improv acting. It's like a drug. This RP
Yeah.
thing that you younger generation have created, that my generation, which I get worked up because they always say we're all boomers. Boomers are my parents, not me. Don't forget us. We're people. We're in the middle, Gen Xers. We're real.
Sorry, shrimps.
Yeah, but nonetheless, okay, we gotta go. I'm babbling,
Oh no,
and yeah,
I'm having fun too.
yeah.
Thank you
It's all about
so much for
you so much, bud.
everything you
What you
do.
do is you do way
No,
more
no, well, you do
than
way
so
more
many.
than it's only because you can see it. I think that you think, oh, this is you doing so much. I think you're doing it the same way, but you're not streaming, so people can't see it. You're
Nowhere near as
working and all
sexy
that
though.
stuff.
Nowhere near as sexy. Nowhere.
Thank you. But I think that a lot of us are trying really, really hard. We just can't see it all, and that
Well, let go of your own character, right? Let go of your own character. Build your backstory, get it out there, put yourself out, tell your story, and then realize that from that point forward, it belongs to somebody else. And everybody else is yours,
I'll work
right?
on it personally.
Right?
I'll
Like
work on it.
put your time into your character because it's for the benefit of somebody else. For me, anyways, and then realize that all those other people belong to you and they're yours, and you're gonna treat them good. They're
Yeah.
precious and beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone do that, I guess. This is what we learned today, and I will try
Thank
as
each other in
well.
OAC. Thank each other in OAC.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. They're real
Thank you.
human beings who
Yeah.
know that they did okay.
Yeah.
You need to
Thank you.
know that in OAC.
Thank you, Eyebyte. You're great.
Right back at you.
I I don't
Like,
know.
can I go now? You
You
done?
can go if you would like to. I don't know where we're
Okay.
going, so
Okay.
that's
Love yous
yeah.
all. Love yous all. Hey, take back all those bad things I said about you. You're all right.
You're okay. Gosh, I don't know.